Today in the crypto space, we see the market kind of going sideways. Bitcoin at about 43,000, Ethereum right around that $2,200 mark, and the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, some of them are doing really well. Look at Chainlink, ICP, AVAX, and many more. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project, one altcoin that's been retracing and is at a good level of horizontal support. And of course, that project is called TARAXA. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. And of course, guys, join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin by looking at the general market. We'll look at the top 100 first. Then we'll take a look at Bitcoin as a leading indicator to see what is it actually showing us here in the immediate short term for the market. Of course, Bitcoin as a leading indicator is very, very useful. If Bitcoin does come down to those lower levels, I'm expecting altcoins to also get a bit of a flush to the downside, and then maybe we might see a nice recovery with regards to altcoins, and Ethereum leading the way would be a great indication of an altcoin season. So we do have a lot to talk about in this video, of course, but TARAXA is the project that I'm going to be focusing on. Guys, the retracements throughout the market have been here. You know, we've got a couple good ones. The question is the retracement done? Is the dip over? And it's all about Bitcoin, right? Ultimately, if Bitcoin does roll over for a bigger corrective move, you know, the altcoins will also come down with it. And this is what I'm preparing for. I'm also keeping an eye on some good altcoins that are good levels of horizontal support with risk to reward ratios that are in our favor. Okay, so let's continue here. We can see that Bitcoin is still going sideways. Ethereum making a lower high at the current moment. Not the greatest look here for ETH, but ultimately it's not over yet. You know, it could be just that it's hesitating right here, and then we see Ethereum get to those higher levels very soon. We do see BNB also making that lower high, ultimately also giving a sign of weakness. Solana as well. We got a bit of relief to the upside, but not a higher high or even a double top. In this case, it does look like a lower high as we speak. So something that we have to understand is that currently the market is showing us a bit of weakness as we are producing these right shoulders or this lower confirmation highs, these lower highs. Look at Cardano, very similar thing here. AVAX is probably the only one right now that is showing a nice double top out of these. You can see that we do maybe even triple top, as you can see, double top right here, and then another test of the highs. And if we start breaking out, it's looking really good for AVAX. AVAX is up approximately 7.5% today. One of the top gainers here in the top 100 for sure. Chainlink doing pretty good as well, grinding to the upside. Yesterday we talked about Chainlink and the fact that it could be showing us a sign of strength, market-wide strength, as these oracles, including Pith, are doing pretty good in the last little while. So pretty good here to see Chainlink wake up. We have Tron, a bit of a run up, but then a bit of a pullback. Even though it did run up here, it's not a big move. It's only up 1%. It's no big deal. Polkadot 2%, doing pretty good at least. ICP doing great, 9% to the upside. And as we keep on scrolling down, we do have some sideways price action. We have a few altcoins here that are not doing very much. However, guys, like I said, it's looking for those opportunities. IMX right now is up 10%, 15% in the last 7 days. Not bad. Slowly grinding to the upside and definitely taking off here. So that's a good one. Maybe a bit of a pullback might be a good opportunity to start scaling in. Not bad. Optimism. I'm waiting for OP and Arbitrum to basically wake up here. We need those heavyweights to wake up and show us the fact that the Ethereum, narrative could be waking up again for a nice run. Celestia doing good, 4%. Again, nice little relief to the upside, but it's not a high just yet. It does look like, as of now, a potential lower high. So we got to just see what happens here. If we get this confirmed lower high, it's a confirmation that maybe the top was in, and we could be in a corrective move to the downside in the short term. So let's just watch out here, because I think a lot of the sentiment is in the last little while that we could be getting our last dump before the halving, before we get a confirmed bull run, right? So H-bar looking okay after a bit of a dip, Caspa as well. What else do we have? VeChain getting a bit of relief to the upside, 3.5%. Not bad. And as we keep on going down, we do see some good ones. Mina Protocol still grinding. It's up 15% in the last 7 days. Nice move to the upside for sure. 5% here for DYDX. And if we keep on going down, KuCoin waking up a little bit here. That's what we want from the centralized exchange tokens. They're good indications that the market is getting interested in trading again and getting their assets on exchanges. Look at the BitGet token, BGB. Nice run to the upside in the last bit, up 7%. That's a good sign of strength here. So that's not bad. And we have Flare looking good, 20% to the upside. And the list keeps on going. Oasis, nice move, 13% today. Top gainer for sure. Pyth, another 10%. I'm rooting for Pyth, obviously, as another oracle to do well here in the up-and-coming bull run. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin by looking at Bitcoin. What's going on here with the Bitcoin price? It's still kind of going sideways. Nothing really that interesting. Obviously, as long as Bitcoin stays within this range, I am still looking out for a potential altcoin season. Bitcoin looking sideways, looking boring, gets people looking to altcoins, looking to Ethereum for a good run. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin could be in that distribution. So we got to understand that ultimately, if Bitcoin does roll over at this level, you know, a bit of a sell-off throughout the market is very, very possible. And then, of course, we'll be scaling into some of those altcoins. But as long as Bitcoin stays within this range, it's likely that we see a bit of an altcoin run at any moment now. So this is one thing that we got to watch out for and prepare for. Get your altcoin bags a little ready here, buying the dips, buying bottoms, good levels of horizontal support, because we could get a good run, a good pop to the upside in the up and coming days. Let's look at the daily here for a second. We still see that the MACD is still showing us the same thing. Nothing has changed here. Green histogram bars to the upside. EMA is facing up still. We're looking like it wants to exit the bearish control zone and get to the bullish side of things. But, you know, it's still not over yet. We could be done with this bit of relief very soon. Again, back to the 4 hour, you can see that, you know, the EMAs look a bit confused. The MACD looks a bit confused. It looks like it wants to roll over and continue with the bearishness and perhaps get more red histogram bars to the downside here on the 4 hour. So this is the thing here. Although the daily, you know, is in the chop zone, pretty much in the 50% mark of the RSI, the MACD looks a little bit wonky, that maybe it wants to roll over. I'm expecting that we could get a continuation of this follow through to see the price get oversold and see the RSI in oversold conditions. And if that's going to be the case, we're going to have to see the 4 hour finally roll over and continue to the downside as well, which means that we could start making another lower low, basically a lower high, which we could already have gotten with this previous high right here. And then a bit, this rejection could bring us down and make a lower low. Lower highs, lower lows, the trend is your friend. We're coming down, and that's where the retracement and the fire sale could begin. All right, so that's why we got to keep an eye out here for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin could be dragging down the market any moment now here. Okay, guys, so we'll be keeping an eye on Bitcoin. Terra is the project for today. Terra. Now, if Bitcoin does come down, Terra could come down as well. And the reality is today, Terra's up 26%. Now, if you look at the overall price action, the 26% is from this bottom right here. This bottom is the green arrow zone where I, you know, mark out on my charts, previous highs, previous lows, and we bounced off of it already once. We came back down, touched it again, and we got another rocket basically running to the upside. Now, the question is it done here on the 4 hour? Let's go on the daily here for a second and see what's going on. We'll kind of include some of this price action, and you can see that the majority of the supply and demand starts to pick up around this level, right around here. Now, if you kind of look at the previous price action, like I mentioned, we do have some tops and bottoms that could act as support along the way, and this is why we got a bit of a reactive move. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't get a rejection and come right back down to range lows, and I think it's very possible here, guys. It's possible that Terra, in order for Terra to actually get super bullish here, we need to get some confirmations. We need to get another double bottom. We need to get some bullish divergence. Although we are getting a nice fat bullish divergence here on the MACD, you can see that the price action, sorry guys, you can see the price action is coming down while the RSI is going the opposite direction. You can see that happening. The MACD is getting a nice EMA cross as we speak, and it looks like it might want it to get into the bullish control zone very soon. So the daily is looking promising. The RSI is looking pretty good too, although we have yet to get oversold. We are getting a bit of relief to the upside, and you can see that we're right back into the chop zone at about 50%. However, the mean reversion play is definitely possible here. You can see that the purple line in comparison to the yellow, they're too far apart, which means that the purple is going to come back eventually one day and get back to the yellow, which means that we could get a corrective move back to the lower levels based on the shorter term time frames, and then finally maybe continue to the upside, right? So right now what we're doing is anticipating that this proof of life that we've got here could be the beginning of a nice impulsive move where we start testing the previous highs and making higher highs. Very possible. However, guys, I think it's still too early to get too overly confident here. I would be DCAing. Okay, so let's look at this in a bit more of a strategic way. We can see that we have these tops, this green arrow right here. Good place for DCA. And then ultimately, the major weak spot is this volume gap right here. The majority of the weakness is down at this level. And then we get into the majority of the support, which is all the way down here at about 0.0017 more or less. So the question is, do we think that we actually are going to come this low? The possibility of that is very low, in my opinion. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but what we do have to do is anticipate that we could come down and basically test the weak hands of people that got into at least this run up, this bottom right here. So seeing the price come down a little bit more is very possible. Maybe coming down to about 0.005, something like that. So what I like the best here is that we are definitely in a DCA zone. You're not buying tops. We were very patient on this retracement. We let it fall very nicely. And now what we're looking for is support. The 200 daily is right here as well, the orange line. You can see the 200 daily right now. Yes, it got disrespected by the price action falling right below it. Now we're back above it. Do we get some support on it? Do we get a back test? Do we get a bounce? Do we get some confirmation that we're going to use it as support for this price action to come? And it's very possible. So what we really have to understand is that we are in a DCA zone rather than a specific area to buy the dip hard. I would be looking to distribute a bit of capital along this area. Lots of green areas because of it. You can see that this top was a good area. Again, even where we are right now, I know we're up 23% as we speak. It could be that we come right back down to the range lows and start DCing again. A little bit here, a little bit here, and then you start accumulating, especially as you see confirmations, those W's, those inverse head and shoulders, those cup and handles, all those bullish divergences is that what we got to wait for. And then what we'll do is we'll start getting in with a bit of confidence. Look at this MACD, looking really nice. The EMAs are crossing really good right here. Let's look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour ultimately is already overbought. That's the truth. So it's a bit dangerous getting into a fresh long at the current moment. On the 4 hour, we could see a definite pullback right back to range lows. And if you look at the MACD, we're not, completely overextended, but you can see that we are somewhat overextended here. All the clusters of histogram bars of the past are pretty much all the same shape and size. So what could we expect is that we've got the majority of the move already in here, and we could be waiting for an EMA cross where we start rolling back and starting to see maybe a bit of a dip on the 4 hour time frame. We're already overbought, like I mentioned. We could get a bit of bearish divergence and see the price come right back to range lows where we can start DCAing again into this volume gap. We do see a bit of a volume gap if you exclude previous price action, and you look at the current scenario, and you can see that we do have a bit of an empty space right into here, right? All this is pretty much empty. Nice concave zone that we could expect the price to slowly grind to lower levels and maybe hit this bearish target of about 0.006, 0.0059. This would be the area. So what I'm saying is ultimately DCA here on Terra is not a bad opportunity. I am going to be buying a little bit more of Terra. I did pack my bags heavily around this level, but you know what, ultimately depending on how low we go, I might get interested even more to buy the dip on lower levels. But on these new buy orders, I'm going to be quick to trail up a stop loss to be protective. Why? Because we've been making higher highs, guys. Look at this high, look at this high, look at this low, look at this higher low. We're making higher highs and higher lows, consecutive ones, without any major retracement or test of these lows. So which means that it's very possible still. Now, I know Terra is a very bullish project. I know it did very well in the last little while. So this is why I'm leaning towards, taking a bit of calculated risk at great retracements. And this is what exactly I'm going to be doing. Buying the dip all throughout this level and trailing up a stop loss as soon as I get into profits. That way I can protect my initial investments and protect my gains as we move to higher levels. Right, guys? If I've offered you any value in this video, you know what you got to do. You got to slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. And of course, if you want to follow me on those socials, the links are in the description below. Guys, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Feel free to join. It's a great time and place to make requests on any of the projects you are interested in. And of course, I'm going to put them in top priority. Guys, join the Discord. The Discord is a great community. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.